Hey everybody, this is Gary, the fist pump guy. Today I'm going to give you something special. I've already given you a walk around video on the 2019 Toyota Rav4 XSE Hybrid, but today you're going to ride along with me to check out a little bit more about this vehicle. Y'all come on. Before we get going out on this drive, if this is your first ride drive with the fist pump guy, know that I parked my camera in the back here, so that way people don't accuse me of looking at my phone, looking at my camera while I'm driving. So I do that primarily for that reason, so you can just kind of hear what I'm saying, maybe visualize what I'm saying, and then that way there's no confusion about me looking back and being a danger to society by looking at the camera. So as I mentioned prior, we are in the XSE Hybrid Rav4 for 2019, only trim level that the XSE is available in at this point. So we're going to talk a little bit about the drive, the ride, and everything while we're going, and that way you can kind of experience it with me. I mentioned before, if you haven't seen my walk around video on this car, I do have one. It's for the 2019 XSE Hybrid on my YouTube channel. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. And I do mention a lot more features and things in that video, so I won't touch them all right now. I will tell you that the overall design of this car is amazing to me. All the RAV4s, it's new design for 2019, but this XSE is pretty sweet. If I was in the market for a vehicle right now, this would probably be what I would get. The two-tone interior, the sport seats, the blue stitching, all the standard features that you can get. The digital rear view mirror, I really love that feature, standard on this vehicle. Now this particular one that I'm driving in has the optional weather package, which includes your rain sensing washers, heated steering wheel, auto de-icer, de-icer for your windshield wiper. So there's some features that would be an option for this vehicle. It does have standard heated seats, power driver's seat, and it does have some other standard features. It's not standard with the dynamic navigation, which is the integrated navigation, which you'll find standard on the Limited. Now you can get it as part of a audio upgrade, which includes your JBL, which I do have a video on the JBL systems. 11 speakers, subwoofer, sounds great, so I do recommend that, especially if you love music. So you can get that upgrade, but it does have Apple CarPlay, so you don't necessarily have to go to the integrated nav. Plus, on this Audio Plus system, it does have the GPS Scout link, which you can use in conjunction with your phone. But if you have an Apple iPhone, you can plug it in and use your maps off the iPhone. So that's something that you could use instead of having the navigation or whatever. So you don't necessarily have to get it. I just mentioned that. It does have 5 USB ports as well. So you technology-wise, you can get a panoramic roof with this vehicle, but you also have to get, on this particular model, get the advanced technology package, which includes your intelligent clearance sonar with rear cross traffic braking, and I believe you get the Qi wireless charger along with that as well, and that'll give you the panoramic roof. You can get the panoramic roof along with that package. So that's some of the options that you'll see. Your standard features we mentioned with the safety sense, the lane tracing assist, all that standard on this vehicle. Blind spot monitoring, stop sign recognition, stop sign assist, whatever you want to call it. Not stop sign, but road sign. So those are all standard features on this vehicle. So if you like the lane departure alert steering assist, that was standard last year. This year they upgrade that. You'll still have it, but you'll have the lane tracing assist that works with your radar cruise control. Now this does have a sport tune suspension, so it does drive a little bit, handle a little bit differently than what my Limited demo handles like, but they both are great rides in my opinion. I think Toyota did a great job on this vehicle on all Ravs. Let me slow down before I get a ticket in the school zone. But it's amazing what they've done with this vehicle. Now you have a 2.5, this is a hybrid synergy drive. It's 2.5 4-cylinder, okay? with a ECVT transmission, electronic variable transmission, constant variable transmission. It does have six shift points on this, whereas your standard transmission on the gas-powered engine is an 8-speed. You do have your Eco Sport and EV mode button right here. Very easy to access. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but you do have electronic power parking brake that automatically goes on and off for you when you put it in park and drive, so forth. So the horsepower is a little bit different the way they rate it. Your standard gas power engine is 203 horsepower. On your LE, for example, you're going to get about 30 miles to the gallon combined. And then on some of your other trims that are a little heavier, you're going to get about 28 combined. This hybrid Synergy drive, you're going to get about 40. Now your horsepower is a little less comparatively as far as the gas powered engine goes, the way they rate it. I believe you're getting 176 horsepower on this vehicle as far as the gas powered versus the 203. Your torque's a little less too. I think it's pushing out 163 foot-pounds of torque versus the 187, 188, 89, whatever it was on the gas powered engine. But your combined net horsepower for the hybrid system is 219. Now, if you've never driven a hybrid, I recommend these newer hybrids for sure, but Toyota's had the hybrid systems out for a long time. I think it was introduced in 01 in the Prius, 2001 in the Prius in the United States, and prior to that it was in Japan. But the hybrids drive a little bit differently. So when your takeoff power, your torque, is a little bit quicker than, say, a gas-powered engine would be, because it's instantaneous with what you do with your foot, so it reacts quicker than a gas-powered engine. Having said that, even on the highway, if you need to get on it, it also does the same thing. Now, that could affect your fuel economy, you know, to some extent, because this one is going to get 40 miles combined fuel economy. But as far as the fuel economy, I don't really worry about the fuel economy so much. But if you're thinking about a hybrid and you want to spend a little bit extra money, this particular model is only around 36,000, 37,000, something like that. The Limited I'm driving, I think, is about 38. But as far as, you know, standard equipment, you really don't have to get anything extra on this vehicle. It's a great ride. I think it would be a great choice. It's got nice trim. It looks great with the black wheels. If you haven't seen the video yet, the LED lights and all that look great on this. So go back and take a look at that. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe. The lane tracing, I'll mention this real quick. I haven't done a video on this vehicle with the lane tracing. I do have one on the Corolla hatchback for the lane tracing. The lane tracing works with your full speed radar cruise control, okay? So when you set your cruise, if you got the lane tracing on, it's going to light up blue up here, and it's going to help keep you centered in your lanes, okay? It's going to help keep you centered in the lane. So it works like the radar cruise, the lane departure alert does, except for it's more designed to keep you in the middle instead of wait till you get to the line. So that's why lane tracing is a great feature to have. I mean, it does help that. However, I noticed that when I was driving mine, I use my cruise every day out on the highway. I don't necessarily like it all the time. So there is a way to go into the settings in your system and turn just the lane departure, the lane tracing assist off. Okay, and you'll still have your steering assist for your lane departure alert, but the lane tracing will not be active. Now, there is also in there, you can turn the steering assist off and still have your lane departure alert, which some people might like. However, I do like the lane departure alert with the steering assist, so I leave that on, the steering assist on, and turn my lane tracing off. But it's a matter of opinion. Now, also, this is a full speed radar cruise. If anybody knows about radar cruise, a radar bounces off a vehicle. Once you have your cruise control set, you can set the distance that you want it to stay from you in the next car, and that radar will keep you slower than the traffic in front of you, okay? Versus a regular cruise control that you have to be paying attention, hitting your brakes and all this, that, and the other to slow down. Once that traffic moves, the radar cruise, as long as you don't cancel it, will pick right back up. Now, the benefit of the full speed, which is what this has for 2019, is that if you have it set, let's say it's at 35 mile an hour or 45 mile an hour and you're in a slower area and you're coming up on traffic to a light, it can stop you completely without ever disengaging your radar cruise control. So what'll happen is you'll sit at the light if it stops you, and it'll say waiting on your instrument cluster here, and then once that traffic starts moving and it starts getting to the distance, to re-engage it, you just tap the accelerator and or the resume button on your cruise control, and it will pick right back up. So that is a great feature. I love the full speed. Obviously, it's a little bit scary when you first do it. I mean, I did it on purpose, of course, but if you're driving down the road, and you can see an advantage of the radar cruise control, period, because always some kind of distraction. You turn around and look at your kids, you're trying to eat something, you drop a fry, you drop your phone, whatever the case may be, there's a distraction. And if you've got your radar cruise control on the highway, that will give you a little bit, you know, more safety driving. I don't even know the proper word, but you know what I'm saying. It'll actually still operate even when you're not paying attention. So the downfall of the radar cruise is if you got your distance set too far, you'll find yourself, you got your cruise control set at 75, for example, and you'll look down and you'll be doing 60. Because sometimes you don't really notice it, the change. So you do have to pay attention. But overall, I'd say all the safety, all the features on this vehicle are great. The handling is amazing. The suspension feels great. I don't really feel a lot of vibrating. The seats are comfortable too, and I haven't done a video specifically on the seats, but I believe the seats are a little bit more comfortable. The only downside on this vehicle, really, I think, is the fact that you only have a 4-way manual seat that you can get on all passenger side. I don't really necessarily like that. As if I was a consumer, I would definitely like a 6-way, at least a manual seat to raise and lower, especially for that one of the videos I did. But overall, if you're looking for a vehicle, I think that the RAV4 in general is a great vehicle, and I know it has a lot of competition nowadays. But the hybrid XSE, the hybrids in general, I highly recommend them, especially if you're not familiar with that vehicle. You know, take it for a ride, see what you think, and you know, I think it'd be a great ride for you. So that ends our little ride here. I appreciate you riding along with me. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like, comment, and share. Overall, I definitely say that Toyota did it right with the RAV4. I love the XSE. I think it's an amazing trim level. Unfortunately, it's the only trim you can, you know, you get on a hybrid. The XSE is the only way you can get it on a hybrid. But with all the standard features you're getting with this vehicle, it really lacks nothing. You know, for me. But, you know, like I said, even the options, if you were to give them the JBL, would be the one I would want. So appreciate you joining. Appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget, please subscribe to my videos. Check out my other videos, and we'll see you later. Follow the Fist Pumped Enterprise.